Sell. I'm the Director of Contracted Services and Operational Analytics with Hampton Roads Transit, and thank you for joining us for On the Move. I'm here on board one of HRT's brand new ferries, the Elizabeth River Ferry 7, with David Jordan. He's the owner and operator of Norfolk by Boat, and they have been our service providers for the ferry service for over 40 years.
It's been a privilege, and we're very proud.
We appreciate you.
We appreciate you.
We're very excited about these two new ferries. They arrived in early December, and myself, along with Mike Perez, the project manager, spent the better part of about 3 years at St. John's Shipbuilding in Palatka, Florida, watching these boats be built, so that was quite the privilege.
Yeah.
Right. We also just retired and auctioned off the Elizabeth River Ferry 3, which will start its new life once it's remodeled up on the Eastern Shore later this year. So Ferries 6 and 7 are joining Ferries 4 and 5 in service and will be part of HRT's fleet over the next 25 years. Having additional ferries will help us move even more people between Norfolk's waterside and Portsmouth, and is especially good for our baseball games, our festivals, and our concerts that are between the two cities. David, can we talk a little bit about some of the improvements that have been made on the new ferries?
Well, that'll be fun. Let's start at the top. The canopy. The canopy's been improved. It has a lot more braces and it's a lot sturdier, and that's going to be very helpful. Under the canopy and on this main deck, we have additional improved lighting, which will be very nice for our passengers. And we have some new controls in the pilot house for the engines. You know, the ferries dock and undock 7 times an hour, and they run 16 to 18 hours a day, 7 days a week, 363 days a year, every day except Thanksgiving and Christmas. And so that's a lot of action on the controls when in the forward, neutral, reverse. So we've got improved controls. They're going to hold up better than our last ones. And we also have new steering. And this time it's a little bit more modern electric steering. So that allowed us to get rid of a large hydraulic tank in the engine room, which gives us much more room in the engine room. And we've made improvements down there. It's a lot more spacious and easier to get around. And this is especially good for our regular oil changes. We've got stronger propellers, and our shaft seals are much better and have been improved.
Awesome, very good. David, as I mentioned, Norfolk by Boat has been our service provider for over 40 years. That's an amazing feat in itself.
Yeah.
But you've been a part of these waters much longer than that.
Yes.
Can you tell us what it was like to grow up and work on the water all these years?
Well, it's been great. It started off as a sport, even as a young child, out on the pier, building boats by taking a piece of wood that was floating around, hammering a nail in the front of it, and then pulling it around like it was a ship when I was 5 years old.
That's awesome.
It's been great. Water is a lifestyle, and a lot of people take to it, and there's a lot of other career opportunities if you want to move on from the ferry. We've got ship captains, tugboat captains. One of the most wonderful jobs in the harbor, and most important, is harbor pilot. And I'm proud to say that my nephew started working on these ferries and on a family tour boat when he was younger than 13, and he started working on the ferry, earned his license, and he went on to be a harbor pilot because that's what he always wanted to do. The harbor pilot goes, and when the tugboats bring the ship in, a Virginia pilot will bring the ship into the harbor, and then when it gets into the harbor, the docking pilot will climb a ladder and go and take charge of the ship and dock the ship and tell the tugboats what to do. So we've got tugboat captains, harbor pilots, ship captains, and we have people who oversee cargo handling who grew up on the water and grew up on here. We have a lot of people who did this as a summer job while they were in college, and a lot of people are working their way through college on here, and they work in the winter too. So it's really great fun and a wonderful job, and a lot more fun than working on shore for a lot of us.
Sure. So you mentioned that we have year-round ferry service here.
Yes.
So what would you say to someone who is looking for a career in our ferry service?
Well, you know, the summer season's coming up, and we're a lot busier in the summer than we are in the winter. And so we say, if you think this is right for you and something you'd like to explore, if you can swim and you love the water and you love people, and we carry a lot of nice people. We have a lot of gentle, sweet, wonderful customers. And if you like that, then maybe come see us and see if you'd like to work on here and apply for a job. Take a ride if you've never ridden the ferry before, and look around and say, you know, this might be fun, and so maybe I'd like to do this.
All right. Well, David, thank you for being with us today and for being such an integral part of what we do here. We really appreciate you and all that you do.
It's a joy working with Hampton Roads Transit and you and Ben Sims and William Harrell. And it's a privilege, and we're just so grateful, and I just can't say it enough.
All right, and thank you again. And this wraps up this edition of On the Move.